Welcome to Find Your Strong, the podcast that's here to help you free yourself from food rules, fitness guilt, and those weird detox teas.
Oh, do not get me started, Ella.
All right, I won't. I'm Ella, nutritionist and intuitive eating counselor.
And I'm Christine, personal trainer, intuitive eating counselor, and your hype woman for joyful movement.
You are, woohoo! Together we talk to experts, share stories, and hopefully leave you feeling a bit more at home in your body.
So if you're ready, let's find your strong. Welcome, everybody. Ella and I were chatting about what are we going to talk about this week on the podcast. And we thought because we're having the wonderful Deb Benfield on in a couple of weeks' time, author of Unapologetic Aging, go check her out. She's fantastic. Got her book here. We thought we'd talk about aging. And you know, if you have had body image issues your whole life, or disordered eating, or disordered exercise patterns, what the hell happens now when your body starts visibly changing? And we don't have the collagen and all that stuff that we just so easily had and didn't appreciate
Yeah.
at the time. And also, where do we sit in terms of fillers, you know, facelift, Botox, all of that stuff, you know, that is in our inboxes constantly about and surrounds us really, because a lot of our friends are kind of having procedures done. So I find it's a really big topic to chat about. So let's break it down, Ella.
Let's do it. Definitely. Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because it affects literally everybody.
Yes.
Because we're all doing it, we're all aging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're right, it's such a massive topic because we can come at it from so many different angles. So where would you like to start?
Well, I ask you personally, how do you feel about it?
About aging?
Mm.
That's a really good question. I think in general, if I think about it and I want to give a really pretty answer, I would say it's a privilege because not everyone gets to get older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we all probably know somebody who passed away way too young. And yeah, so in that sense, we're bloody lucky that we are able to experience aging. And also, I think when I was younger, I was more scared of it because I was thinking, interestingly, I was more scared of it because I thought, oh, well, life's done then. You know,
Yeah.
once you hit 50, bye bye. And now I am almost 50. I feel like, actually, no, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near done. It feels a little bit like time is getting shorter and there's
Yeah.
still quite a lot that I want to do. So in a way, I feel like I'm a little bit more efficient with what I do with my life. Whereas when you're in your 20s, you think, oh God, that's like miles away.
Yeah.
Years and years and years. So you can bum about a little bit. And I don't want to say waste time, but I feel like I probably did waste time on things that maybe aren't as important. And now I feel like actually, no, I don't have infinite amount of time. So I want to really do stuff that make me stay fit and well for longer, but also that give me amazing experiences. Does that make sense? So
Absolutely.
that's the sort of prettily packaged answer.
Yeah, I mean, I resonate with all of that.
Do you? Yeah.
But
How do
it's
you feel about it
but
then?
it is a pretty answer, isn't it? Your answer.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a
Yeah.
privilege. And it is when you sit with somebody as they're dying, you do
Mm-hmm.
suddenly go, none of this matters. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter.
Yeah.
You know, all that matters is who you are and, you know, being kind to people.
Yeah.
But that's very easy to say.
Exactly.
And if you have your whole life battled your body and
Mm-hmm.
been at war with your body,
Mm-hmm.
it is very hard to go, oh, now I have to accept crow's feet, sagging everything,
Mm-hmm.
crappy skin. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it is not an easy thing to do. There's parts of it that, you know, there's liberation in it for
Hmm.
sure, because it's almost like, well, it's not about being invisible. I don't think women are invisible over 50. I do not buy into that at
I
all.
think it used to be more like that, but I think nowadays definitely not
I think
anymore.
people are taking up more space over
Yeah.
50, and as
Yeah.
they frigging should. Should
Yeah.
be anyway. But I
Yeah.
don't buy into that. I don't
Mm,
think I'm invisible all of a sudden. But
mm,
I don't, there's a bit of me doesn't quite worry about being attractive or about
mm-hmm,
the male gaze as I
mm-hmm,
used to worry. And I
mm-hmm,
don't know why I worried. I don't know why I wanted to be attractive. That was always a
mm,
thing for me. I wanted to be seen as attractive because I didn't
mm-hmm,
think I was, and I needed
mm-hmm,
that validation and
mm-hmm,
and I don't know why because it's not one of my values. So it was always a bit kind of,
mm.
what is
Did you
that
feel
about?
like you were being pushed into it because that's just what was expected of women in general, or?
I think it's because I think for many years I've attached worthiness to how I'm perceived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not how it should be, or it's not how I perceive
Mm-hmm,
other people in any
mm-hmm,
way, shape, or form.
mm-hmm,
So I'm not sure why
mm-hmm,
just me, it had to be different. But
mm-hmm,
I do, there's a bit of me, it's almost like it, because you're aging, it's almost that inevitability of it. It's quite freeing
mm-hmm,
because it is like this is happening to everybody, and you
mm-hmm.
could go get your Botox and your fillers and but generally you still look your age, but with fillers and Botox. So
Yeah.
I think it was on Stephanie Michelle's podcast, Life After Diets with
Mm,
Sarah Dosanjh. Both of
mm-hmm,
whom have been on the podcast. And they were
mm-hmm,
sort of saying, I've never met a 50-year-old woman that I thought was 20.
mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because you don't,
Yeah.
you just
You,
don't.
no.
And it is, you can try and anti-age all your life and all you
Yeah.
want, but you're not fooling anybody.
No. Definitely. No, you're so right. You're so right. I'm interested in this whole um and I know you're not buying into it, and I'm not either because I think things have changed, but this invisibility of women over, say, 45, 50.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether it used to be maybe more sort of generic because you had basically fulfilled your purpose of potentially
Oh,
bearing
yes.
children.
Bearing children
And
and
then, off you go. People, women didn't used to have careers as much as nowadays. They were literally there to be a housewife and mother. And once the children had left the home, what's the purpose then? That sort of thing. I know I'm stereotyping massively. So in a way, you become invisible because there's just like not as much use for you anymore. Nowadays, that has changed, and rightly so. But I'm wondering whether we still attach a little bit of that invisibility because I still hear that narrative nowadays. Whether we attach that to what you said, the male gaze, that it's all about how we're being perceived, and
mm,
still sort of sticks with quite a lot of people. And as you said, once you kind of let go of that, it's really freeing because your purpose is different. It's not about being attractive to the opposite sex. Does that make sense?
but it
What
is
do you
also
think?
really I totally agree. I totally sort of
Mm,
historically, obviously, it's been
mm,
women bear the children and all that. But in
mm,
certain cultures, the matriarchs of society are the
mm-hmm,
people, they're the oracles, they're the people
mm,
that they're respected, they are,
mm,
looked to as
mm.
wise people. You know what I mean? It's in this society it is not the case.
No,
And
no.
I think that's really sad. Like the
Yeah,
people with the most life experience and the most to offer us, we're
yeah.
like, oh no. I
No,
really hate that.
I know.
And I certainly and we've talked about this before. I can't stand obedience.
Mm,
And it is that there's a bit of me will fight,
mm-hmm,
and to me being obedient, and it is just, this is my opinion.
mm-hmm,
Me being obedient would be doing the Botox and the fillers and
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
so I kind of, I'm at this point, I'm saying I'm going to refuse it
mm-hmm.
because I don't want to be obedient. I'm still dyeing my hair, so I am a bit of, hypocrite here, but I don't want to do anything artificial
Yeah,
to myself other than
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But, check back in a few years. I'm not going to judge anybody for it because you just, you know, you've got to do what works for you. You've got to do what works for you. But it's to me, it's also a bit of a women are invisible over 50. It's a marketing ploy.
Mm,
Here's how not to be invisible. Buy this for your
exactly.
crow's feet, buy this to
Exactly.
plump up your cheeks, buy this product. And the amount of bloody anti-aging products that I'm getting sold all over my email and all
Mm-hmm.
of my social media really angers me.
Mm,
So it's this anti-aging is everywhere, as if aging is this awful thing that we've all got to try and resist and
yeah.
it off, and it's not okay to age.
Yeah.
And there's certain people in the public eye, like Kate Winslet, who are standing up against that.
Love
And
her.
obviously, she's got a huge amount of privilege,
Mm-hmm.
but she also has a lot to say, and she has a
Mm-hmm.
big platform, and I appreciate what she says so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Um,
Brilliant. Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is a lot of it is marketing. A lot of it is, why do we need to look younger? Is it because we have to be competing with the younger women, dare I say it, for attention? Do we have to appear younger so that we get a job? I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think is why what is the purpose of us looking young or trying to make ourselves look younger? What's the purpose of having that? What do you think? What's the purpose of it?
well, we're all just that we're constantly from the minute we're kind of teenagers, we're being sold stuff to
Mm,
fix ourselves.
mm.
So aging is seen as something else to fix.
Something to fix. Mm.
You've
But
got
to what purpose? What's the aim of fixing that? Aging in particular.
that we look as youthful as possible.
And
Because
why?
youth is the
Sorry,
currency.
do you know,
Youth is the
I'm asking
currency.
myself these questions. I've got a sort of a vague idea of what it is, and I think it all goes back to patriarchal kind of
If you're talking about
norms.
privilege,
Mm,
youth, there's a lot
mm-hmm,
of privilege that comes with youth,
mm-hmm,
as well
mm-hmm,
as straight-sized body, as well as
mm-hmm,
being a white woman. There's a lot
mm-hmm.
of privilege. Do you know what I mean? Attached
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah,
there is, I think,
yeah,
youth.
totally. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
all in search of that youth. And I
Mm,
think it needs to be turned on its head a bit. And I'm just hoping at some
mm,
point, like people like Deb Benfield, hopefully, who are coming on. And there's a woman called Ashton Applewhite who's
hmm.
fantastic. And this chair rocks, I think,
Yeah.
her handle. And she's amazing. And again, why are we just going, oh, we're old now? It's the amount of people that I've got coming up to me, oh, I'm old, look at my crow's feet, oh, I don't want this is all saggy, and they're just talking themselves down all the
I
time. It's what
know.
we've done our whole lives. And
Yeah.
at some point, and that is one thing about aging that's good. I'm getting so sick of that now,
Mm,
hearing my own self criticize myself that
yeah.
I'm getting angry about it.
Yeah.
So, and it makes me sort of not buy into it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It slips off the tongue but way too easily. Oh, I'm so old. Oh, I just looked at the mirror and oh God.
I
It's that
know.
it's such a it's did we talk about normative discontent in a previous episode? It's when it's normalized that we're unhappy with whatever it is. And I feel like there's a huge amount of normative discontent
I
when it
love
comes to
that.
it's a cool term. I only came across it about maybe a year ago and I really love it. I think I wrote a blog about it. That's why it just came back to me
Okay.
because we normalize being unhappy with how we look so
Yes,
much, don't we? And
absolutely.
it's almost like if you're not on that treadmill of like bashing your body, bashing how you look, then I don't know, are you seen as conceited? Are you seen as a little bit arrogant? Are you seen as a bit weird? Why are you happy with your body when everyone else isn't? Do you see what I mean? It's almost like it's not normal to say, actually, I'm all right.
But and maybe we don't have to be happy with
Mm,
our bodies. Maybe we can do the neutrality thing. I
hmm.
did a post about this the other day, but I love this normative discontent.
It's cool, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I don't think so. More and more, I always wanted to be happy with my body.
Mm,
And then I realized that your body's changing constantly. So
mm,
you've kind of just got to,
hmm.
and you're not always going to be really happy. Well, you
No.
could be,
Yeah.
but maybe being a little bit unhappy and then going, oh well, what are you
Yeah.
going to do? And
Yeah.
walking away and doing
Yeah.
something else. It's not letting your feelings about your body take up any space in your head or take up
Yeah.
a lot less space.
Yeah.
because it's not realistic to just embrace every single bit of aging and not have any grief there
Yeah.
for how the swimsuit used to fit you or how, do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It is normal to not have to
Yeah.
like pull in your eyelid up to do your eyeliner. You know what I
Did you watch me this
mean?
morning?
To pull the eye back
Yeah.
so it doesn't get
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah, I
creases
know.
and buying makeup that doesn't sit in your creases. Freaking
Right.
hell.
Oh,
Never
there's a
thought.
challenge.
Do you know what I mean? And it is
Yeah.
that covering the
Yeah.
grays and doing all
I
that.
know.
It's normal to have a bit of grief. So I think for me, I'm focusing on that neutrality lens.
Mm.
So if I do
Mm.
catch a glimpse of myself and I'm like, oh, then I go,
Mm.
oh well, what are you gonna do? And move
Yeah.
on rather than spending the whole day buying anti-aging creams and collagen supplements and
I know.
because that is not gonna help your state of mind and it's actually gonna do nothing for your body.
Yeah,
And I know
definitely.
I see myself in a way that is hypercritical,
Mm.
something that has been decades and decades that I'm trying to unlearn, but it's not over.
Mm.
So I now know, okay, hold on, take a step back.
Mm.
Doesn't always work, but
Mm.
it certainly helps.
Mm.
What about you?
Mm.
How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself with a positive gaze?
I would say I'm sort of more in the neutrality kind of
Neutrality, yeah.
pond, swimming around there. I don't, yeah, I don't, I don't feel particularly bad about aging and how I look, but I also don't feel particularly, oh my God, I'm amazing. So I'm sort of, I'm quite happy being in the neutrality pond because that feels less up and down. And also it means that I'm less focused on it
Mm,
as a concept. So yeah, I'd say I'm okay. And I like what you said about you don't have to be happy.
mm,
It's I feel it's almost like being neutral and accepting of this is just what it is going to give you time and energy to focus on things that are actually really important, like objectively important, if that makes sense. And I also like what you said about grief because I feel like the grief can have different origins. So it could be that you're grieving for the attention that you used to get when you were younger and, you know, for intents and purposes, possibly more
yeah.
attractive to whoever was looking at you, or you felt more confident, or whatever it is. So maybe there's a bit of grief for the sort of objectified you, but then there could also be some grief about well, I am getting older and part of my life is done, right? I have
Yeah.
fewer years left. And I feel like if anything, then that is a grief that is no, I can't say that. I can't say that is a deeper grief. I think it's both. I really do think in nowadays society, I think we have to juggle both of those bits of grief. I don't know. Do you feel like stronger that one of the types of grief is stronger for you than the other, or do you feel like it's kind of an
Well,
equal?
I mean, it should be, shouldn't it? Because it should,
Yes, that's one.
but
That's why I almost just said the grief for the time that you haven't got left or that you have already spent and grieving for that time is more important. But then is it? Because I don't want to dismiss that there's real grief for us losing looks, losing
but
stuff.
that I think maybe we just if we can somehow not let that take over our
Mm,
life's purpose and experience.
mm,
And of course, it is important to a degree, especially if it's been something you have struggled with your whole
mm,
life. But
of
it's
course.
trying to think, if you put that in perspective with
Mm,
family members getting ill and dying, or
I know.
kids graduating, or
Yeah,
things happening in your life which are
yeah,
actually
yeah,
of huge significance and importance, you know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I think that helps in a way, but yeah, but equally, I don't like the idea of going, oh, I'm 50 now, I hardly have any time left. I
I
better
know.
care. I don't think that's a positive way to look at it. I don't think that's
No.
helpful because you could have got hit by a car when you were 20. I got
Yeah.
hit by a car when I was 11 and luckily survived.
Yeah.
But we don't have none of us, there's no guarantees. So really
Mm.
you should always live your life like you've only got a few years left because nobody
Yeah. Or
knows.
a day.
And I don't like that because that puts pressure on me. It's like I can't just sit and watch crappy Netflix because that's wasting 2 hours of my life. I should be out climbing a mountain or something.
Yeah,
No.
but then you're putting too much pressure on you, right?
That's what I mean.
It's
I
a case
don't,
of
so
yeah, yeah.
I don't like thinking like
No.
that. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
no, 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 no. And I meant with the grief is that exactly what you said earlier. It's like learning to, oh, okay, that it comes up, just
Yeah.
like, that grief for our looks comes up,
Yeah.
and we just need to say, oh, okay, there it is. And yes, it is sad, but also
And
it doesn't have
maybe,
to be taking over our brain.
but also maybe we freaking put more diverse people in our feeds. Maybe we have people, older people in our feeds,
Mm.
older women who
Oh
are
yeah.
beautiful women in our feeds. Because
Yes.
it doesn't, I think you can be as attractive in your 80s as you are. It's to do with societal perception, isn't it?
Mm.
And it's
Mm.
what we're bombarded with, these images of thin, blonde, white people who are
Hmm.
20. So
Hmm.
that's what we think is attractive
Hmm.
because that's all we see. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Love
Oh,
Island,
definitely.
hello. You
Yeah.
don't, whereas women are seen to be, oh, you're over this. Men can be freaking attractive into their 80s, and that's all fine. Oh,
Mm.
Harrison Ford, let's all swoon. He's 84.
Mm.
And that is just that's not real.
No,
That doesn't mean a woman of the same age can't be very attractive. That is just
exactly.
the societal conditioning, isn't it? Social
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I,
I
d- I
don't.
love I love seeing older women in particular on Instagram at the moment, and the kind of shit they get up to is amazing. It's not like the end of your life doesn't mean when you're 50 you can't do anything anymore. But when you said about these people that we're bombarded with, and it's like maybe unknown people or not very famous people, but it's also famous people. And there was an article about Bradley Cooper and his facelifts and the stuff that he's done to his face. And they were
Bradley
talking about, oh my God, he's unrecognizable. And why did he feel like he had to do it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Women
Cooper.
do that all the time. And you think, oh my God, she looks amazing. And she's had that done and that done. But isn't it amazing? And they like, literally the handful of Hollywood males that are like really very well known, they do something and it's like, oh my God, why did he feel the
I
need to?
know
And I'm
it's the
like, you
same.
fuck off.
I think Ryan Gosling as well, and everybody's like, why did he do anything to his
What
face?
did it? I mean, it's
Um,
just like look at literally every single A-lister Hollywood star. They've all had stuff done to it. Maybe
but it
it's
is
the
this.
other
Oh
the handful
wow,
that haven't.
it is this. Wow, she looks
I
amazing for
know.
her age. She
I
looks
know.
much younger, and I got told that, and it is just this normative thing.
Hmm.
I got told by a few people, "Oh, you don't look 50. Oh, you're going to be 50. That's it. Oh, you." And I was a bit annoyed. And
Mm.
in previous years, I would have been like, "Oh my goodness, that's amazing."
Hmm.
But now I was like, but
Hmm.
that is just so ingrained in us. It's so
Totally.
like we
Yeah.
think that's a compliment. It's like, have you lost weight? It's like,
Exactly.
oh, you don't look your age. And I did a post that I want to be strong at 50, not for 50. I don't want to be
Mm.
strong for 50. I want to be strong at
I
50
like that.
because I don't buy into that. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? I don't,
Mm.
yeah, it upsets me.
Mm. No, abs 100%, 100%. I think it's just but as you said, it's this narrative, isn't it? It's like it's so ingrained in us that it comes out before we even have a chance to think about it because it's so normalized.
I mean, maybe it does. Does it change how you, because obviously we're nutritionists and trainers,
Mm.
change how you eat? Do you take more care of making sure you get all the nutrients now that you're
No,
nearly 50?
no, I don't need to because you don't need to eat radically different when you
Oh.
turn the 50 corner. Again, marketing. People want to sell you the extra protein. They want to sell you collagen. They want to tell you, oh, you're not getting enough of this, that, and the other. Oh, I've got a solution. I've got powder that you mix in your Greek yogurt, which you absolutely have to eat because you have to eat more protein. And yes, maybe our protein requirements go up a little bit. And yes, maybe, having a multivitamin supplement might be quite helpful, but then I would
Mm.
say that's the same for all age groups. I mean, it's just that it's all marketing, isn't it? I don't need to. like when we spoke to Elizabeth Davies last week, we don't need to, only because we're women, we don't need to exercise differently. What we
Yeah.
may want to do is we might want to just see what our bodies, how far we can push our bodies, what can we do with our bodies, what brings us joy. And I would say it's the same with food. Only because you're 50 doesn't mean you have to stop eating cake
Yeah,
now.
and I think obviously the strength training, you
Mm,
have to strength train now that you're
mm.
50. I would say you have to strength train from your 20, from your start
Yeah,
exercising.
yeah,
I've always thought that as a runner,
yeah.
cross training has always been a real priority for me.
Mm.
But there is no such thing as a menopause fitness coach.
Oh,
Just go to a good fitness coach because
mm,
they're going to take you for you and
exactly.
go through your health history and what's going on with you and what you need and how you want to work out and what works for you.
That's it.
It's not about, oh, you're menopausal, you have to work out in this very specific way, because then
That's
we get
it.
into that all or nothing thinking.
Definitely.
But I do think that I want to age. I do want to age well in terms of movement.
Mm.
That is something that I do feel quite strongly about.
Hmm.
And I think so that's interesting because I do think about aging in terms of movement because obviously I have slightly more aches than I
Mm.
used to have. I
Mm.
have to mobilize more than I used to, which is
Hmm.
annoying.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't,
Hmm.
and I can still do all the things, but I just have to prioritize a little bit more
Mm.
certain taking care of joints and all of that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
that is something that I would say, and that's not me, that's not a sales technique or gimmick. It's just something that I feel passionately about that I want women to be able to do all the things that they love for as long as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not
Mm.
saying don't do like exactly the same as you did 40 years ago. I'm just saying you don't go ra have to go radical. You just adapt. As you're getting older, you might notice that certain foods don't agree with you the way they used to. I know, for example, drinking alcohol, I literally don't sleep the night after, and I used to be dead to the world. I know that if I eat certain things in the evening, I get incredibly bloated, but that that happens and you adapt. That doesn't mean I have to have a radically different diet. And like you, with the aches and the kind of being a little bit more stiff, that's just normal, isn't it? Our bodies are aging. So if you have an older car, it will have a bit of rust and it will just maybe need a little bit of a push every now and again.
Still
Apologies to
beautiful
anyone who's
and
offended by my
classic,
analogy, but do you
classic.
know what I mean? You do have to adapt, but it doesn't mean that you have to go completely nuts and
Mm.
pay for specialized programs when you can continue doing what you're doing and just adapt and see what feels good.
And
Do you see what I mean?
I would urge anybody out there who's listening, if you, the thing about training, not for looks, is that it brings you so much
Mm,
freedom
mm,
because you can train in any way that you want to train, and
hmm.
you don't have to go, I better do another session of cardio because I can't do more strength because I don't want to, and I have to eat this much protein here, here, and here. No,
Yeah,
no, it is
yeah,
just. It takes everything out of it. It takes the joy out of it. It
yeah.
takes out and goals. If you set actual goals that you want to accomplish, how amazing would it be to accomplish
Mm,
those goals, which are non-aesthetic goals,
mm,
which are actually just seeing what your body can do
mm.
and getting that new appreciation for your body. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we've just talked around in circles, but I've enjoyed it.
Well, that would be a new thing for us,
That's a
Maud.
new thing. We never do that. So you're good
Mm.
at the nutshells.
Oh God, no, don't nutshell me now. In a nutshell, I think this is not the end of this topic because, as you
No.
said, we've got some amazing people coming up.
Yes.
We have already talked about aging and how to train for our old lady bodies, all of that kind of stuff. That's a conversation that I think we will continue.
Yeah.
I don't really have a nutshell other than that I, you know, I feel very strongly that we need to step away from this narrative of we're past it, we're old, we can't do things anymore, and
Yeah.
move towards, yes, we're older, yes, we might have to adapt a few things, but life isn't over only because we turn a certain like
Oh,
50 or
um,
60 or whatever.
and I think we've kind of touched on it, but we haven't really gone into it.
Mm,
So we're the whole thing about the work that we do is about
Mm,
the intuitive part. So it's
mhm,
how do you feel?
mhm,
How do you feel when you move? How do you feel in your life? How do you feel?
mhm,
It's not about how you look on the it. Do you know what I mean? It's that
mhm,
living body versus the objectified body. If I'm
mhm,
getting stressed about how I look, I get into my body and move,
mhm,
or I
mhm,
sit and I do a
mhm,
nervous system regulation practice, or I do
mhm,
something, or go for a walk, or I punch something, or I get into my body and see what I need.
mhm.
Do you know what I mean? That can make a massive difference. Same with food. It's like, how
Mhm.
is this making me feel? Rather
Definitely.
than, do you know what I mean? It is that different gaze which can
Yeah.
make all the difference to the aging process and how you age, can't it?
Definitely. And also, this is something you can do at any age. We're not menopause specialists. We're not aging specialists. We are intuitive movement and intuitive eating coaches, counselors, trainers. And that goes for anybody who's listening at any age can learn to tap in. It doesn't, it's not, this is not a program for old people. This is a
Yeah.
program for everybody. It's just about, how do we maybe find a little bit more of a peaceful relationship with aging? I acknowledge that, yes, we can feel that grief because it is real, and we're not saying it's not, and we're not saying we
Yeah.
never feel it, but what do you do with it? And how do you move on from it? And I think maybe that's my nutshell. There you go. Ta-da.
That's a very good nutshell. I have to say, the kids really bring you back down to earth because I remember this was a couple of years ago, but I was sort of, I was saying I'm not old, I was in that denial phase.
Hmm.
Um, and I think Mia was she 13 at the time? So she was like, Mum, I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Took a break. 21, 20. And it was just that she just had to keep taking breaks because I was so old.
Oh
It was
my
just, it made
God.
me laugh so much because I was
That's
like,
funny.
fair enough. There's not, what can I say?
You no comeback from that. Fair.
And it is
Fair.
funny to see yourself in the eyes of your kids because they think you're ancient.
Oh,
And it is
100%. I hear that
really
all the
quite
time.
funny.
Yeah,
It's quite, because it's quite grinding in some ways, isn't it?
it really is. But again, it's perception, isn't it? Some of my kids' friends think that I'm quite a young mum, and then my
Ooh.
daughter says, "Oh God, you're so old." It's that it's like it's perception, isn't it? And it's like. I don't know. And it's all relative, compared to a
Yeah.
92-year-old, we are quite young.
And
Compared to
we've
a
still got it,
13-year-old,
Ella.
we're
We have
quite old. It's
still
like
got it.
it's the relativity of it.
But yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, please follow, subscribe, and share with your friends. We would appreciate it so, so much. And it's been lovely
Definitely.
to have you here with us, and we will see you next time. Lots of love, everybody.
Bye bye.